Tintin XL 92.5 FM.
I'm here. Okay. I'm here.
Yeah.
Am I here?
What's going on with you?
Let me tell you. I'm glad you asked. Let me tell you what's going on in this world. Okay. As you know, I'm a seasoned professional.
Yeah.
You're dealing with a professional here. And as you know, Lauren Brooks manages a lot of the ad business.
Oh, so she's holding you up in the hall. Okay. Well, that makes sense.
Okay. So I was and every time I come in there, Steve Griffin did a wonderful job of kind of shortening our breaks.
Mm-hmm.
So we start. There's not a lot of time in between shows.
I will say it's not even 4:00 yet.
Yeah, it's 3:59.
Yeah,
okay. So JJ, I wasn't late. Let me be clear about that. Okay, I wasn't late. Okay. Marcell Ozuna signed with the Pirates today. He's going to hit 58 home runs. Okay, just write that down with your little Braves hat on in there. Okay, we do that for him, right? Put that down. Okay, he's only about 60 or whatever the hell he is now. So there's that.
So you're saying Lauren Brooks is sabotaging you because she's ending her show early, and then holding you up in the hallway.
And we're talking business and advertising, and I'm late, and then I got to deal with this.
Yeah,
that's my life. Okay, I don't know what your life is. That's what I'm dealing with.
My life is I'm here.
Yeah, your life is on time, punctual. Your life is no matter what else your life is. My ass was here. Okay, so there's that. So very good point taken. Glad you're with us on a Monday. Good to be with you on this Monday. Our Monday's always brought to you by our friends at the Best Bet. We sure appreciate our Best Bet friends. 3 great locations: St. Augustine right off of I-95, US 17 in Orange Park, and, of course, the Jacksonville location is on Monument Road. Great to be here on a Monday. Gorgeous day out there today. I mean, it's finally had a gorgeous day.
The whole week looks like it's going to be pristine.
It's going to be really – we'll have some fun. Then we'll be out at the Players' Championship on Thursday.
That'd be great.
Players' Championship Media Day. I'm going to play that morning, and then we'll be doing our show.
You're going to be playing a major championship course.
That's exactly right. By the way, your excitement over the major is phenomenal.
Awesome.
I love that. I know it is.
It's a major. In my opinion,
you've always said that,
and it will now that the tour is acknowledging it. Yeah, it's a major. It's the first major of the season.
You've been trying.
I'm not saying it's the best major, but I saw Brindell Chambly with that comment. We'll certainly talk to Lee Smith this week about it. Yeah. And I think Chambly does a great job as a golf analyst. But I mean, I wouldn't say it's like the best major, but it's definitely a major.
Well, and I'll say this, by the way, joking aside, not that we're joking now, but it's as great a golf tournament. Now, it doesn't have the heritage that the Masters and the U.S. Open and the Open Championship have. It's got as much heritage as the PGA has, but it doesn't have. But it's as far as good a golf tournament. Good a golf tournament, yeah. So it certainly is. So we'll certainly talk. So we'll be out there on Thursday, and then on Friday, I'm looking forward to getting out to UNF as they start college baseball season. They're very proud of their brand new turf field, so we'll get a chance to see that. So it's going to be a busy week for us. But all kind of things to do today in the program. Glad you're with us on this Monday. Brought to you by the Best Bet. Super Bowl went about like we thought. I think most people thought. I think Prisco said 27-10. I think I said 31-13. Hey, JJ, you said 24-14. It was that game. It was a game, Hayes. I think that there was less surprise, I think, in this Super Bowl, I think, than almost any we've seen in a long time. It would almost went exact. Now, we probably didn't think it would be that difficult for both offenses, but from a score standpoint and a controlling the game standpoint, went about like most people thought, I think.
Yeah, it was probably the most predictable Super Bowl I would say that we've had in a long, long time. Particularly considering the line, it wasn't like Seattle was a 12.5-point favorite. I mean, the line was 4.5. It never really seemed to move much. I don't know if it ever did by kickoff, but it seemed like it was steady at 4.5 for the 2-week buildup. But so that's not exactly a crazy big disparity. So for it being a 4.5-point line, I mean, it was hard to find anybody that thought not only would New England might win, but that they'd really make it a great game. And so, yeah, one of the more predictable Super Bowls that we've had, but, it was still fun and enjoyable. And, I mean, it matched we had sort of a tepid enthusiasm for it.
Right.
And, I think those concerns, ended up being true. But look, I mean, it's Super Bowl Sunday. It's a good way to spend a Sunday afternoon. And, now, unfortunately, we won't have football for a long time. And in 6 months, I'll be really excited for the Hall of Fame game to watch starters sit on the sideline with ball caps.
Good point. I did think this. I thought it was a good Super Bowl Sunday. I thought, and again, the game was kind of boring. It was predictable. I don't know Bad Bunny's music, so that wouldn't have resonated with me. But obviously it was entertaining. I didn't watch the alternative one. I got there. I played a little golf yesterday afternoon, then came back to shower. So I didn't get there in time to watch Green Day do their thing. But I thought the coverage of it, I thought NBC's coverage of it, the red carpet feel to it. I thought it was a fun Super Bowl Sunday, all in all. Whether you like the acts, you know what I mean? Whether
Yeah.
you like the acts, whether you like the commercials, whether the game was kind of boring. But I think that's one thing the Super Bowl does. The Super Bowl's bigger than all of that. In that regard, it delivered. The game wasn't very good. Again, Bad Bunny's not my vibe, but I think people that liked his music liked his performance. I thought the game delivered the big day feel. Did you feel that way?
Yeah, absolutely. And
it always does, I
yeah,
guess.
and and again, it wasn't like it was a stunner, that it was a fairly one-sided game. I mean, it was 19-0 Seattle early fourth, so not going to be a lot of drama there. New England, you thought maybe had a spark and could get something going, but then Drake May threw just a god awful interception, and I think what was interesting about watching it was, and we talked about that this morning on Duval Rundown, is you started to see the big players making plays for Seattle. How many of those guys were drafted, and then when you look at their starting lineup, because obviously the offensive linemen, they're not going to be involved in a lot of highlights, but you look at how Seattle built their roster, and obviously it's heavily through the draft, and then just a sprinkling of free agents and some savvy trades. The more the game played out, the more you start thinking about the team here. And it's like the Jaguars are sort of on this path. Now, John Schneider is an unbelievable general manager and will probably one day be enshrined in Canton. He's now won 2 world titles with 2 completely different teams and coaching staffs, which is incredibly impressive. But there are a lot of parallels that you can already start drawing, and Gladstone, Cohen, and Baselli still have, this offseason to continue to cement that before they start their second campaign in the fall.
Yeah, you had a really good angle. If you haven't seen Duval Rundown, Hayes hosts that 3 times a week and has up until this week and will continue to. You had a really cool angle that I hadn't thought about, and we're gonna expound on that. I thought it was the connection, because not just the Seahawks then and hopefully the Jags moving forward, but most good teams. There's a way to build most good teams, and it was a cool angle. So we'll certainly talk about that today. We'll start our program with some Super Bowl talk coming up in just a moment. It's a moment like this, a very emotional moment. I get emotional that I've got to congratulate J.J. LaSelva out of southeastern Ocala, right there in the forest. You can see that Ocala forest. He's right. He explodes into where J.J. was from, and J.J. wins a hard-fought championship. But you know what? Got ahead early and held us off.
Yeah.
JJ finished
Wire to wire.
JJ,
Secretariat.
Yeah. JJ. But how about JJ finishes with 111 total points. I had 108 total points. You had 106. I mean, it was 5 at the end. 5 points separated us all. JJ was
great race.
JJ was 89 and 64 on the year. I was 86 and 67 on the year. So final numbers, he was 3 ahead of me. And then there was Hayes Carline, who was a solid 68 and 83 on the year. But nonetheless,
you win in different ways.
Yeah,
some
exactly
teams
right.
go for the 3-run homer. Some teams bunt and
they don't
steal
ask
bases.
how, but in a very electrifying picks contest, JJ, a very deserving winner, 111, 108, 106. That is our football picks contest, brought to you by our friends at Ricketts Electric. We sure apprite
absolutely
Zach and Jesse and our Ricketts friends. But what a fun contest. Congratulations, JJ. Well done all the way through. Wire to wire. I really do think he led after the first week.
I did.
I agree.
I mean, I think after literally after the first week.
There was some moments there towards the end when I was like, wow, are we really going to throw away this big lead? But we came through at the end.
Yeah, it is. So a well-deserved championship.
So does this mean I'm on the clock for Loser Monday?
Yes, you are.
Okay.
You are on the clock for Loser Monday, which will start with the Players' Championship. So certainly there's that. All right, a lot of things to get to today on the program. Boy, the Gator basketball team. Boy, they're really
so much fun.
I mean, I'm telling you, Alabama and A&M are Sweet 16 teams. I don't know if they're beyond that, but Alabama and Texas A&M are good teams. I don't know if they're great teams, but they're a good, solid basketball team. Florida just destroyed another team in a game that game was never close. The Gators led by 10 about 3 minutes in. Did you watch it, JJ?
You know what's so funny?
Yeah.
Because we talked about this the other day. I changed to it just to check the score.
Yeah.
Not a big college basketball fan, but since working on this show, I just want to check in on it.
Yeah.
And they immediately were going to the monitor.
Oh.
And I'm like,
yeah,
of course they went straight to the monitor.
And you say, the hell with this.
Yeah. But no, you guys were up like 30 at that point. But I did hear they started like with 2 points in the first 10 minutes or something crazy.
They couldn't buy a bucket.
And we're going to get into this later. Part of it was the moment was big for A&M.
Yeah.
The A&M, Florida's guys just won a title. They've been through this. And A&M's guys, you could tell they were tight. They missed open. Part of it was Florida played really good defense. Now, if the other guy starts 1 for 23, it's not just bad luck or tight. They're being defended. But they also missed some open looks. So we'll certainly get it. But this Gator basketball team is really good.
They led by double digits for the final 26 minutes of the game.
Yeah. If you didn't watch the game, right.
Wow.
If you didn't watch the game, Florida won by 19 because A&M made a bunch of threes at the end of the game. They were up 27. They were up 27 with about 4 to play. So it's supposed to be with the Gator basketball team. We'll certainly get to that coming up in the program as well. We're going to look ahead to next year. Teams to watch in the NFL, certainly. I do want to talk about our walk-off baseball tournament. Best one we've ever had.
Oh, great.
And it was really 16 terrific baseball teams. Congratulations to the 4 winners. Wolfson, Bishop Snyder. Boy, Bishop Snyder's good now. They could win a state title. Wolfson, Bishop Snyder, Covenant, and Sandalwood all had really good teams. Today, we start the softball version.
Oh, cool.
16 softball teams. And so the ladies get to play this week. The men, it was the boys last week, the girls this week, but 16 terrific softball teams. So we'll talk more, but I'm very proud of that.
Yeah.
I'm very proud of how it went off. And
how was your thing Friday night with Andrew Jones?
Man, it was that fantastic. Thanks to the Jumbo Shrimp for having us out. And Brett Myers was really funny. Andrew Jones was fantastic. And he was really, really good. I mean, if you think about how good he was, 10 Gold Gloves, 5 All-Stars, 434 home runs. He had 10 seasons with 26 or more home runs. You realize that, JJ?
I honestly didn't know it was that many.
10 seasons.
It surprises me every time I hear how many he had.
With 26 or more home runs. He had 7 30 home run seasons while being the best defensive center fielder in baseball. And among he said, I said, and he's a really humble guy, by the way. Really, really good dude and humble guy. And he's defensively compared to Willie Mays. And he said, let me stop you right there. There's one Willie Mays. And that was really, hearing him say that was really cool. You know, he said, let me stop you. And right there in the panel, it was just 3 of us up there. Brett Myers, who was really funny, did a great job. And Andrew, and I was kind of the roundtable host. And he said, let me stop you. There's one. People said the next Willie Mays. No, there's not a next Willie Mays. But he was really humble. It was a wonderful. So thanks to the Jumbo Shrimp.
Those 2 guys had a lot of battles in the NL East against each other.
Yeah, and they talked about that. They faced each other a lot. So I looked it up. I didn't realize that there was the one game when Myers was a rookie, might have been one of the second or third game, where Andrew hit 2 home runs off.
No, that's funny.
They were very respectful of each other, and Andrew was talking about how Brett Myers, by the way, has 96 major league wins and 40 major league saves. That's hard to. Smoltz did both. Eckersley did both.
But they're Hall of Famers.
Yeah, right.
Besides them, it's very rare.
There weren't a lot of guys that could do both. So it was a great night. So thanks for asking. It was a great night. So we had a lot of fun stuff to talk about today on the program. We'll get to. But I want to start with the Super Bowl. Hayes did a great job today on Duval Rundown comparing where the Seahawks are and where the Jaguars seem to be headed. That's a really good topic. We'll talk about that. Also talk about the game. Why I thought the Seahawks won. What I thought went wrong for the Patriots. We got a lot to talk about. Let's start with the Super Bowl. This is 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
It's not just football. It's glory in motion.
Touchdown! They have extended the lead!
1010XL.
How good is that?
Home of the Jaguars.
Let's talk about the sound no homeowner wants to hear. Drip, drip, drip. Still dripping. That's exactly why Duck Duck Rooter created the Love Your Pipes promotion. Plumbing problems don't scare us. Not with years of experience and honest upfront pricing on our side. Right now, you can get free plumbing assessment on all fixtures with any paid plumbing service. It's the smart move to fix the issue now before it becomes bigger. So when you're stuck, call the Duck, 904-862-6769, duckduckrooter.com.
This is Hayes Carline from my friend Holt at Harold and Harold. There doesn't seem to be enough time in the day to get everything done. Then you get injured in an accident and you don't know what you're going to do. Let Harold and Harold make it easy for you. Easy on becoming a client. You can just text or email if you want. Easy on finding a doctor and getting through the process. Hopefully you won't need them, but if you're ever injured, call Harold and Harold and make it easy on yourself. Call them at 904-251-1111. That's 251-1111.
Dr. Kevin Murphy with Southeast Orthopedic Specialist, congratulating our Scholar Athlete of the Week, Annie Craig Charnley, senior basketball player at Wilson High. Annie is the co-president of the National Honor Society and is on the AB Honor Roll and the AP Scholar Award.
It's free window February with Renewal by Andersen. Right now, when you buy 4 replacement windows, you get the 5th for free. Plus, 0 down, no payments, and no interest for 1 year. This offer expires February 28th. Renewal by Andersen, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation.
License number CGC 1527613.
Pickett here. Restore comfort and confidence with oculoplastic specialist Mary Kate Wilson, MD, at the Eye Associates, Jacksonville's expert in oculofacial plastic and reconstructive care. Dr. Wilson specializes in eyelid surgery, cosmetic and reconstructive procedures, and treatments, always with a personalized approach. Now seeing patients at the Beaches, Southside, and St. John's locations. To schedule your consultation with Dr. Wilson, call the Eye Associates, formerly Bowden Eye Associates, Schneider Eye and Wellness Center, and Janet A. Betchkel, MD, at 296-0098.
Rick Ballou here with a congratulations for John's Auto. They've been in business in Jacksonville for 40 years. That's right, going all the way back to 1985. Right now, they'd like to thank each and every one of you who's ever gotten their vehicle serviced at John's Auto. So, car, truck, or diesel, all makes, all models, whether it's a routine maintenance or a complete engine overhaul, go to John's Auto on Arlington Road, JohnAutomotiveJacks.com.
Yo, it's your main man ET here for Blue Chew. And guess what? Blue Chew tablet isn't just a tablet. It's a cheat code. Blue Chews provide access to chewable tablets that help you feel and perform at your best. Stronger, longer. It's like someone gave you downstairs a pep talk and a gym membership. No awkward doctor visits and no uncomfortable waiting rooms. It's nothing worse when them nosy behind neighbors are looking at your packages and then asking you questions. Don't worry about it, sweetheart. I got this. Blue Chew is simple. It's discreet and delivered straight to your door. And let's be honest, this isn't just for you. Give her group chat something to talk about. Nothing makes you more of a legend than a little Blue Chew. And guess what? I got a special deal for our listeners. Get your first month of Blue Chew on me. That's right. Just use promo code 1010XL and you pay $5 shipping. That's it. Head over to BlueChew.com for details and safety info. Use the code 1010XL, then just chew it and do it.
This is Mark Nato. My sons and I have seen the doctors and PAs at Southeast Ortho for everything from lumbar spine stress to elbow tendonitis. Southeast has always been there, been truthful, and always been on point. Everything they say happens. We can't thank them enough for what they've done and the great care that they have taken of our sons.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
It's a Best Bet Monday on The Frangie Show with fantastic locations in Jacksonville, Orange Park, and St. Augustine. It's Best Bet.
The Best Bet Blizzard on the Beach continues this week. Man, it highlights the Mystery Bounty main event with a $400,000 guarantee that kicks off this Thursday. That's at Best Bet Jacksonville on Monument Road. You know, there's 3 locations: Best Bet Jacksonville, Best Bet Orange Park just off of I-95, and of course, Best Bet Orange Park on US 17 in Orange Park, and Best Bet St. Augustine just off of I-95. But again, the Blizzard on the Beach, the Mystery Bounty main event, is a $400,000 guarantee. It starts this Thursday at that Jacksonville location, so you want to have some fun. Always be thinking Best Bet because they do a great job. In fact, our Reagan Baseball Complex has a lot of people all weekend long at the Best Bet fun zones we have out there. They support so much of the stuff we do, and we appreciate Jamie Shelton and my great friends from the Best Bet. I promise you that. All right, Seattle wins 29-13. The game kind of went the way I thought it would. I'm going to give you 3 or 4 things that jumped off the page for me, Hayes, in the game. We'll talk about halftime and commercials and all as we go here, but let's start with the football game. It's still a game of physicality. It's still a collision sport. It's still a combat sport. And that's what we were reminded of. We've had so many wonderful passers throw wonderful touchdown passes. We've had Lynn Swann out jumping this person and that person. We've had Tom Brady win 7 of them. We've had Joe Montana, and we've had so many great quarterbacks. Quarterback plays is the most aesthetically pleasing thing to watch in football. Quarterbacks throwing balls to athletic receivers. But it's still a game about physicality, and physicality won the Super Bowl. Physicality is why Seattle won. I don't think Drake May's nearly as bad as he looked yesterday. I think he's a good young quarterback. He had no chance. He looked rattled. I thought he got hit so many times. I thought obviously the blitz packaging worked, but they were beating him with 4 guys. And if you look back, and they showed one collage of highlights of how many easy throws Drake May missed. I mean, Darnold missed a few, too. Darnold missed a touchdown to Jackson Smith and Jigba early in the game when he got away from a pass rush, but it showed how many that Drake May missed. That was a game of bigger, stronger, faster, more physical won the game. That's also the way their season went. They were the best team in football, not because Darnold was the best quarterback. He had a good year. He's a good quarterback. He resuscitated his career, but he also turned it over 20 times. So he had a good year. Certainly Kenneth Walker's a wonderful running back, but they won because they were the most they had the best receiver in football, but they won because they were the most physical team. I got a lot of other thoughts about the game itself and both teams moving forward, but let me start with that. And we'll get to the Jaguar comparison coming up in a minute. But for the sake of this game, we watched the Seahawks all year long. They were the most physical team in football, Hayes. They were the toughest team. They were they were the strongest team. And that's why they were holding the trophy. And give Mike McDonald and, to your point, John Schneider credit. They built the most physical team in a physical collision combat sport, and that's why they're the champions.
Yeah, I mean, there was one instance where I think it was Byron Murphy literally took New England's left guard and just sent him directly into Drake May.
Right into
it. I mean, it was one of the most dominating reps you will see in a game. And it just... That was the single personification of
great point.
The route.
The guard actually connected with May before Murphy did. He actually made contact with him.
Yeah, which you almost never see.
Never.
I haven't seen that since the days of Luke Jokel.
Yeah.
But it was incredible, and that was just one of many. I mean, they initially had 7 sacks, then the touchdown gets reversed to an interception, and it's 6 sacks. But I mean, to force 3 turnovers, 6 sacks. May, to your point, never got comfortable, really started as the game got going, really started to miss easy throws because he was just trying to just get rid of it a little earlier than he needed to, and was throwing it with it sometimes more zip than he probably needed to. But I agree with you. To me, that's not an indication of where Drake May is headed as a pro. I think it would have been tough for – I mean, look, we used to see when Brady would lose in the playoffs, he didn't always win the Super Bowl. Well, what happened when he would lose in the playoffs? He'd be harassed and under pressure. And when we've seen Mahomes struggle, the rare times that we've seen him struggle in the playoffs, it's been because Kansas City can't protect him. And Drake May was the latest in a long line of quarterbacks this year that Seattle has just tormented. And Witherspoon's incredible.
Well, he is.
I mean, for how physical he is, how well he can time up his blitz. For being a defensive back, I was really impressed with his performance as well. So, I mean, we talk about rush and cover, and the Seahawks are by far the best in the league at that, and they're worthy Super Bowl champions.
And the matchup, Hayes, is, again, I think Drake May is going to be a very good. I want to be clear about this. I think he's going to be a very good quarterback. He's a very good young quarterback. He's very deserving. Were some of his numbers because of a weak schedule? Of course they were. I mean, we all know that. It was a very weak schedule the way it played out, but he's going to be a very good quarterback. But the Patriots in this game would have been better off with 11-year veteran guy who's seen all those blitzes, a guy that would never be as good as Drake May's going to be, but wouldn't have been as rattled as Drake was because he just hasn't been in the league long enough. He just hasn't seen it. We've seen how long with Trevor. We've seen these young quarterbacks, Josh Allen. It takes a while for you to understand how that works, the rhythm of the game, the speed of and I think that really affected Drake May. So I thought it was a big part of it. Other things that stood out. I don't do this very often. Tip of the cap to the officiating crew. All those pass interferences and illegal contacts that we saw, God dang, all year long. They tried not to throw flags. If every officiating, now part of it was two teams didn't commit a lot of penalties, but if every officiating crew tried like that. Now, there were a couple times you probably could have called. How many times did you see a play that wasn't in yesterday's game, that wasn't pass interference, but in the middle of the season would have been called? Did you sense that?
Sure.
I mean, that officiating crew, Sean Smith's crew, really tried to let the players decide the game. I loved how it was officiated. That's how the game is supposed to be officiated.
There was only 7 flags thrown all game, and some of those 7, you have no choice. If a guy false starts or jumps offside or delay a game, I mean, you got to throw that.
Yeah, the one long punt return by the Patriots was called back. Guy pushed him right in the back, and if he doesn't push him in the back, he doesn't spring it. So yeah, but so the officials, I thought it was a clean game. I thought it was a physical game. I thought the Patriots. You saw examples of how, had they played more physical, nasty NFC teams like that, they wouldn't have had the record they did. And again, I'm not trying to knock them. The Patriots, anybody that goes 17-3 gets to the Super Bowl deserves to be there. But they did catch some breaks. They caught the ultimate break at the end when Bo Nix couldn't play in the game, and it snowed and the whole bit. So as for Seattle, it does feel like there's some staying power. The question becomes, is Darnold good enough? And is there obviously 2 really good receivers, but are there weapons and Darnold and the plan good enough to survive that division every year? That's the question, because those 3 teams, I got a list of, as we move forward, of 10 teams. I got a top 10. I was going to do a top 10 going into next year, and they're all 3 in it. Yeah, so that's they're built, they're physical. The question is, does Seattle have enough skill and offensive firepower to survive that division year in and year out?
Yeah, because you could win 11 games next year and be the 6th seed in the NFC. If,
That's correct.
Let's say Seattle went 11-6, San Francisco went 12-5, and the Rams went 13-4.
That's right. Which very well could happen.
Yeah, certainly. And, so now you're the 6th seed having to go on the road and obviously probably throughout the tournament to get to the Super Bowl. So, it's, I think Seattle has a chance because of how well the roster has been constructed, and they still have a lot of cap space. So they should be able to add to this. I do think that Darnold played great in the NFC title game against the Rams. And so he certainly has shown that he can play well in a huge moment. That would be the thing if there would be something. And look, I get it. He's hoisting the Lombardi today and or probably at Disney World. But, but in terms of Seattle moving forward, I'm surprised they're the betting favorite to win it again next year, because that is not the direction I would go if I was placing money on one team to win the Super Bowl next year. So I think it'll be an incredibly difficult path, to your point, about just the resistance in their division. But I do think that defense, it's always tough. It just doesn't seem like you can keep a defense elite for very long. Now, maybe they'll be able to do it. Legion of Boom in Seattle had probably 4 excellent years before they started to age and get picked away by free agency and things like that. But yeah, I don't view Seattle as a team that I think is head and shoulders the favorite next year.
Now, and I want to segue now. I'll talk about next year coming up, but I want to segue to your point, your theme today in Duval Rundown. I don't want to speak for. I want you to set it up, but it was a good theme. The big picture is this, and I'm going to have you bring out all the Jaguar stuff here, but I'm going to go big picture first. If you go 13-4 like the Jaguars did, you drafted well. This isn't college football where you can go add 30 new players in the portal. If your team's good, you drafted well. That doesn't mean you didn't supplement it with some very good free agents. They may even wind up being your best players, but free agents are expensive. The draft is your foundation. The draft are your numbers. Draft is cheaper because the way the league is set up, the rookies make way less money than the veterans. So free agents are expensive. So to be really good, if you're 13-4 like the Jags were, that means they drafted some good players. And to the point you're about to make, James Gladstone drafted some, so did Trent Baalke. So to be good, if you're 13-4, 12-6, 12-5, whatever your record is, if you're that good in today's NFL, you drafted well. You can't get there by just free agents. But if you look at the kind of players Seattle has, physical, tough on defense, physical offensive line. That's what Jacksonville is building. I think that was your point today. I'm stealing all your thunder because you came up with this, but it really got me thinking. I told you this on the rundown. For 11 years, last year was my 12th year calling the games. For 11 years before last year, I sat next to Tony Baselli. I'm here, Baselli's in the middle, Lagerman's on the end. I sat next to Tony Baselli for 11 years. And for 11 years, I heard how angry he got when the other team was more physical than the Jags. That's his thing. And I sat next to him. I mean, during the broadcast. I mean, during breaks in the broadcast. I mean, dinner the night before the broadcast. And I'm not saying the Jaguars were always the less physical team, but in that stretch of 11 years, on the times when the other team pushed the Jags around, it drove him freaking crazy. I'm just telling you, it drove him crazy. So you knew when he had a big emphasis, and he's not alone. James Gladstone picked the players. Liam Cohen coached the players. But you know Tony's presence is there, and his presence is felt. And they were going to be a physical football team, and that's how they made their biggest stride this year. Trevor certainly got way better. He played great. They made great acquisitions, but they were a physical football team. And they're very similar to the way Seattle plays and the way Seattle looks and the way they were built. And you've got some of the specifics there.
Yeah, you look at Seattle and what a great job they've done just building through the draft. I mean, Jackson Smith and Jigba and Devin Witherspoon were in the same draft class. They had 2 first-round picks in 2023, nailed them both. Kenneth Walker, homegrown. Byron Murphy, homegrown. 4 of the 5 offensive linemen that started yesterday were drafted by the Seahawks. A.J. Barner, the tight end, caught a touchdown, drafted by the Seahawks. 4 of the 5 defensive backs yesterday that started, drafted by the Seahawks. Their punter, who obviously had an outstanding game yesterday, is one of the best in the league, drafted by Seattle. So John Snyder built a world championship club through the draft and then sprinkled in through a couple of savvy trades. Leonard Williams, who's incredible, traded from the Giants to get Leonard Williams. They got Shaheed from the Saints at the same time the Jaguars got Jacoby Myers. And then in free agency, got Sam Darnold, DeMarcus Lawrence, and Jason Myers, who had an outstanding game as well, the former Jaguar kicker. So as you look at this, it's very similar to the path that the Jaguars are currently on. Because I would say that in terms of homegrown talent through the draft, I'm not counting some potential free agents, and I'm not counting Walker Little because I'm not sure they're going to be here. But as you go through it, Trevor Lawrence, Josh Hines-Allen, Trayvon Walker, Devon Hamilton, Brian Thomas Jr., Anton Harrison, Parker Washington, Brenton Strange, Bashal Tutin, LaQuint Allen, Logan Cook, Travis Hunter, who I think showed enough in the first half of the season to be included on this list as a player that's going to be good.
I do too.
Like I'm not putting Mason Smith on this list because he doesn't deserve to be on this list. He may get there, but he doesn't deserve to be on it now. But that is, so I'm not counting Walker Little because I think he may depart through a trade. I'm not counting Devin Lloyd, Travis Etienne because they could depart in free agency. And I didn't even include Buster Brown on this because he's a potential free agent. I don't think they lose all those guys. So this number would even grow. And then you're seeing the sprinkling of the savviness, the free agent acquisitions of Jordan Lewis, Hainsey, McCary, the trade for Jacoby Myers. So now you're going into an offseason in year 2 where they did just win 13 games. They have 11 draft picks. Again, what does Caleb Ransaw and Wyatt Milam become next year? If they become good players, that's added to the homegrown. So between the guys that were injured this past year at the top of this draft class, 11 selections in this upcoming draft, the Jaguars have a chance this fall to have a roster that really has 15 to 20 impactful drafted players. And you made the best point of all, they're cheap.
Yeah.
Players on rookie contracts are always going to be much more inexpensive than free agents. So the gap between Seattle and Jacksonville from a roster construction standpoint is not that far off.
Yeah, and I will tell you 2 things. Number one, if you look at the veterans they added, 4 through free agency, Robert Hainsey, Patrick McCary, Eric Murray, and Jordan Lewis, and 1 through a trade, Jacoby Myers, all 5 of those guys, all 5 of those newcomers had everything to do with them having a big year. So they knew which guys to go get. The other thing is, I told you this on the rundown today too. I think what impressed me the most, they're going to play the good players. They went out and got De'Ami Brown. They paid him $10 million. I mean, he was one of their prize catches in free agency. And usually, whether you like it or not, when a team spends, they're going to play him whether he deserves to or not. That's just, we got to play him. We're paying him. We got to play him. Jags didn't look at it that way. They went and got De'Ami Brown, probably missed on him. And instead of forcing it so they could be, hey, we're playing our guy. That's what happens too, Hayes, when the GM and the coach aren't aligned. GM says, you better play my guy. Well, they didn't play De'Ami. And I'm not trying to knock De'Ami. I'm just being honest. They quit playing De'Ami Brown because they missed on him. And they weren't going to say, by God, we're playing him just because we spent money on him. They're going to play the best guy. So yes, yesterday's win, as this thing comes full circle a little bit, does give you a little bit of a peek, doesn't it, into what the Jaguars can be. And I totally agree with that. It was a very good point. We'll take a break. I'm going to keep it on the NFL. We come back. I got a top 10 for next year. I got 10 teams. 10 teams that in my opinion, there's a little bit of a gap after those 10. I'll tell you who they are after this.
It's the ride home with The Frangie Show. From the Harrell and Harrell studio, don't settle for less than you deserve.
Streaming live from the XL Digital Studios. Polished by Harbor Dental Care, the locally owned smile restoration experts.
Frangie here. Nimnick Buick GMC is proud to be the #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville. Earned by treating customers with courtesy, respect, and fairness. All part of Nimnick's Treating You Right guarantee. The most Buicks, GMCs, and Jacksonville's only Car Bravo dealer, nobody but Nimnick. For 3 generations, Nimnick has been the place customers keep coming back to. They treat you right, and they give a bunch back to the community. Visit NimnickBuickGMC.com today to learn more or visit their showroom off Phillips Highway. GMC, we are professional grade.
Finding the perfect romantic gift she'll treasure forever? It's easier than you think at Beard's Diamonds this Valentine's Day. We've curated a stunning selection of timeless, affordable jewelry she'll absolutely love. Dazzling rings, sparkling earrings, elegant pendants and bracelets, set with brilliant diamonds or colorful gemstones. Classic gold that never goes out of style. And you can't beat the wow factor of top brand designer jewelry. At Beard's, we've got it all under one roof. And right now, we're cranking up the romance with an unbeatable limited time offer. Save up to 40% on all diamond stud earrings, pendants, and tennis bracelets. Imagine her face lighting up when she opens that signature Beards box on February 14th. Pure magic that lasts a lifetime. Guys, cards, flowers, and candy are sweet, but nothing says I love you forever like a sparkling gift she'll wear and cherish every single day. And that gift is on major sale right now. Plus, Beards is your local Jacksonville jeweler, family owned and community strong for over 45 years. Right here in the St. John's Town Center. Not some Wall Street chain. We're your neighbors, and we're here for you. Hurry in today. Don't wait. Beards Diamonds, St. John's Town Center.
Get a healthy start in 2026. The Florida Department of Health in Duval County is here to help you get healthy and stay healthy all year long. Our dedicated team is committed to providing high-quality care and trusted public health services for our community. Our mission is simple: to protect, promote, and improve the health of you and your family. Learn more about our programs and services by visiting duval.floridahealth.gov.
Post-game Monday on 1010XL. Served by Dandy Foods, making quality fresh sandwiches since 1956.
Have you got concrete or asphalt rubble piling up? Arcosa Crushed Concrete will pay you for it and recycle it. They're just minutes from Everbank Stadium on Talleyrand. Call Arcosa Crushed Concrete and get paid for what you don't need. ArcosaCrushedConcrete.com.
If you're ready to transform your yard with a fence that stands out, elevate your curb appeal with Superior Fence and Rail. Superior takes pride in offering first-class service, friendly installers, and unmatched fence products. Mention this ad and get $250 off your next project. It's time to get off the fence and call today.
When you're on the fence, about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
Hey, it's Taylor. Valentine's Day is quickly approaching. Don't fall into the same routine of last-minute grocery store runs, picked-over flowers, and forgettable chocolates. Make a new play this year with a gift from Peterbrook Chocolatier. Choose from beautifully crafted artisan chocolates or a gift basket filled with the perfect mix of sweet, salty, crunchy, and creamy treats. With 15 North Florida locations, you likely drove past one today. Up your game this Valentine's Day with a gift that truly impresses. Find your closest location at peterbrook.com. That's peterbrook.com.
Pages in your mailbox right now. Did you know there's local savings sitting in your mailbox right now? Money Pages is packed with real coupons from your favorite local businesses. Save money at restaurants like Al's Pizza, on pet care at Forever Vets, and on entertainment for the whole family at the Alhambra Theater. Plus, make sure to download the Money Pages app for savings on the go.
Pages in your mailbox right now.
Do you want to grow your career with a company that's committed to growing with you? Florida Home AC has aggressive plans to double their workforce, and they're looking for determined, resourceful people with initiative. Just log on to FloridaHomeAC.com/careers to find out more.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
It's a Best Bet Monday on The Frangie Show with fantastic locations in Jacksonville, Orange Park, and St. Augustine. It's Best Bet.
All right, don't miss out on the Blizzard on the Beach event number 4, the $200 No Limit Hold'em event. And it's at noon on Tuesday. That's tomorrow. Tomorrow at noon. Blizzard on the Beach event number 4, a $200 No Limit Hold'em, noon tomorrow. That's at the Jacksonville location on Monument Road. All right, as we look forward to next season in the NFL, I got 5 in the NFC, 5 in the AFC. Okay,
okay.
I'm gonna give you where I think they are. Okay, this is my top 10, in no particular order, by the way. All right, so you could jumble them up. I'll tell you my thought on the order. In the NFC, the Rams, the Seahawks, the Packers, the Bears, and the 49ers. You did not hear me say the Eagles. Okay, you did not hear me say the Eagles because I only had 10. Okay, Rams, Seahawks, Packers, Bears, 49ers. In the American Football Conference, the Bills, the Broncos, the Pats, the Chargers, and the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think those are the 10 teams. Now, look, the Eagles are good. There's only 10.
It's a tough cut.
There's only 10 spots.
I had the Eagles in, but I did not have the Bears or Packers in.
Okay,
which was
yeah,
tough to leave out.
So there's stuff. But I think, and the point of my top 10 there is, I think the Rams and the Seahawks were the 2 best teams in the NFL this year. So if I had to rank them going into next year, I'd have them 1 and 2 next year. I think they've earned that. I think they're the best team. And not because they played the epic NFC Championship game. I thought that in October.
I would agree.
Yeah. So I thought they were the 2 best teams. I think so they're going to be very good. I picked the Packers and the Bears because I really do like their quarterbacks. I really think there's something special. I picked the Broncos and the Pats because they earned their way there with young quarterbacks. I picked the Chargers because I like their quarterback. I think the Bills may have the best quarterback in football, and I think the Jags are special. I do not have the Eagles, and I don't have the Chiefs. I do not have last year's Super Bowl teams in this list, and I struggled with those.
Yeah.
I know you won't have the Chiefs.
I didn't have the Chiefs, but I did have the Eagles. Yeah. I had the Texans.
Yeah, and many will. Again, there's no right or wrong here, but my point is the Jags, I think, figure very prominently in that top 10. Give me your 10.
I have Seattle, Buffalo, the Rams, the 49ers, the Eagles, the Jags, the Chargers, the Broncos, Patriots, and Texans.
So you have the Eagles and Texans, and you don't have Packers and Bears.
Correct.
Okay, so yeah, that list. So, and
I love Detroit.
Yeah,
I mean,
same here. Same here. But so my point is, that's the you could.
Neither one of you guys have the Ravens.
Yeah,
I don't.
I do not have the Ravens.
Yeah, I think losing John Harbaugh.
Yeah, same.
Like
they might not
worried.
have Lamar. Who knows what happens?
Yeah, I was surprised. I saw odds, and like the Ravens were had like the 3rd or 4th best odds to win the Super Bowl. So I think they're wildly overrated.
So as I break these teams down, okay, as I break down these teams, the Jags played they whipped the Chargers soundly. They beat the 49ers. Okay, I'm well aware that they lost. And they beat the Broncos. So they beat the Chargers, the 49ers, and the Broncos in this list. They lost to the Rams, the Seahawks, and the Bills on this list. They didn't play the other ones. So my point is they're right in the mix, man. I believe in all my heart, and I know I'm a homer, and I'm probably being a homer, and I've never denied that, and I've always admitted to that. But I don't know that there's a lot of teams that I would not pick the Jags to beat if they played next September 11th, if that's when we start the season, to start the season. If they, would I pick them to beat the Rams on the road? No. Would I pick them to beat the Seahawks on the road? No. Would I pick them to beat the Bills on the road? No. I might pick them to beat the other 6 either place. And if they played any of those 3 teams at home, that's what I feel about the Jags. I probably would not pick them to beat the Rams, Seahawks, or Bills on the road. Oh, by the way, the 3 teams that beat them this year in this group, I probably would pick them against the other 6 teams on the road or home, and I might pick them against some of those teams at home. That's how confident I am of where the Jags are headed, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm really confident in where they're headed as well. I think they have staying power, and I'm really excited to see what they do this offseason in terms of continuing to add to this thing. But in looking at it, I mean, honestly, they don't, next year, they don't play the Bills, they don't play the Rams, and they don't play the Seahawks.
Right.
So 3 of the teams.
The only 3 teams I would not have picked them to beat, they don't play them.
They don't have to worry about them anyway until the tournament or the Super Bowl.
Right.
And, so, yeah, I mean, as you look at it, I like the opponents. The Jaguars obviously have their divisional opponents. They go on the road to Baltimore. We'll see with the Ravens. I mean, yes, I could certainly see the Ravens being good. I would pick them to win the North. But I think it's going to be much like this year, where the North champion is the 4 seed and wildly considered the weakest, by a good margin. So I'm curious. The Ravens are going to have to show me now that they've thrown 20 years of good coaching out the door with John Harbaugh. The Jaguars go to Cincinnati, who hasn't played defense in 5 years and has never protected Joe Burrow. They go to Dallas, who plays 0 defense. They go to the Giants, who does now have John Harbaugh, and maybe they'll be this year's Patriots. Maybe they'll go from 4 wins to, being a serious contender. But they have to show that. The Jags go to Chicago, and that'll be a difficult game, particularly if it's late in the year in the elements. And they go to Denver, who they just destroyed this year. And then you look at the home slate. Cleveland's terrible. Pittsburgh, I think, is going to be terrible for the first time in 20 years. Philadelphia, I still think, is good. But they certainly have questions. Washington comes here, who we'll see if Jaden Daniels, is able to, put an injury-marred season behind him and get back to how he played as a rookie. And New England comes here, who I would pick if the New England Patriots were playing in Jacksonville in 10 days, I would pick the Jaguars.
Same.
So when you look at the slate of opponents, obviously we don't know the order. We don't know when the buys come and who has extra rest and who's on a short week. We won't know that until May. But in looking at the opponents the Jaguars have next season, I'm not sure they're going to be an underdog in very many of these games. They'll be an underdog at Houston.
Right.
That'll probably be the only divisional game, I would imagine, they'll be an underdog in. But, I mean, yeah, so will they win 13 games? Obviously, that's incredibly difficult to repeat. But should they win, I'd say, at least 11 of these things if they stay relatively injury-free? Absolutely.
It's going to be a fun offseason and a fun preseason as we get ready for another Jaguar season. We'll take a break. Hayes has headlines after this.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
We love winning, and 1010XL wants you to win our contests. We also like to share the winning. That's why we ask you to wait 30 days to win again so others get a chance to have the winning feeling. Find complete contest details at 1010XL.com.
This is Hayes Carlion for Harold and Harold. I was at lunch with my good friend Holt, and he was telling me that sometimes a lawyer can get more from a case than their own client. I was surprised to hear this, but Holt said that doesn't happen with Harold and Harold. They'll never take a fee that is greater than their own client. When they say they treat their clients as a person and not a file, they mean it. Hopefully you won't need them, but if you're ever injured, call Harold and Harold at 904-251-1111. That's 904-251-1111.
Frank Frangie here for my friend and insurance agent Craig Dewhurst. Craig has been helping families on the First Coast with their insurance needs for 25 years as your good neighbor and local State Farm agent. Now's a great time to review your insurance policies, whether you need auto, homeowners, or renter's insurance, or insurance for your golf cart, boat, or jet skis. Craig handles all of my family's insurance needs, and even better, he gives back to the community. Call Craig today at 904-940-9740. That's 904-940-9740.
Develop a perfect pitch with Dan, Jeff, and PGA Pros on Brunch with the Tour. Tuesday morning at 8:30. Teed up by Clearwater Irrigation on Jacksonville's Golf Station. 1010XL.
And that concludes the Joe C. Jack of All Trades show. Tune in next week where I'll be installing my own French drain.
Joe, wake up, man.
Hey, John, I must have dozed off.
We finished those projects you started.
Whoa, my seamless gutters are actually seamless.
And they're connected into underground PVC drain lines.
And my sprinklers. Wow, look at that coverage.
Next time, just call me first, Joe.
I will, but I ain't singing that song.
Clearwater irrigation
and drainage too.
Some auto shops call it an inspection and flag any little thing. That's called a wallet flush. At AA Automotive, they don't play that game. They fix only what needs fixing. AA Automotive on Richard Street. Boring name, awesome service, and no wallet flush.
Hey, Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
Hacker here. You know, people think Awaken 180 called me or asked me to go on the program. They didn't. Truth be told, I asked them. Didn't even take a talent fee. I didn't want to check. I wanted my weight gone. I was done with waking up tired and lethargic. I was done. And let's be honest, I wasn't failing diets. Diets were failing me. I didn't need any hype or motivation. I needed instructions. The Awaken 180 program was like finally stopping the backyard play calling and having a coach in your ear saying, run this, now trust it. Once my brain got out of the way, everything changed. No overthinking, no negotiating, no self-sabotage. The weight came off fast every single week, like clockwork. The biggest surprise wasn't the scale, it was the relief. I felt like I finally stopped fighting myself. That's when Awaken 180 took over. So if you're waiting to feel ready, don't. I wasn't either. That's why this worked. Awaken180weightloss.com.
Frank Frangie here for Coil Fencing. Since 1927, Jacksonville has trusted Coil Fencing to protect what matters. And I trust them too. From tough chain link to your commercial project to sleek aluminum fencing your HOA will love, Coil does it all. Did you know that Coil can also install, service, and maintain those automatic gates that help protect your neighborhood or business? To schedule a complimentary consultation, visit CoilJacks.com. That's COYLE Jacks.com. Coil Fencing, A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Jacksonville, you voted, and Baker Glass came out on top. The Bold City Best Awards are all about locals choosing their favorites, and you picked them for Best Auto Glass and Best Glass and Mirror Service.
I'm back with Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? Gather round. It's Hayes' Headlines, presented by Harrell and Harrell. Don't settle for less than you deserve. Hear all about it. Here's Hayes Carline.
Welcome back to the Frangie Show. We've got Frank Frangie. We've got JJ LaSelva. I am Hayes Carline. Thank you to our friends at Harrell and Harrell. Give them a call at 251-1111. Let's start with Super Bowl 60. The Seahawks cruised 29-13 over the Patriots to win their second Lombardi Trophy in franchise history. Seattle built a 19-0 lead early in the fourth quarter. Frank, how memorable a champion do you think this Seattle group will be?
It won't be. The history won't remember them well because you get one every year, and there was nothing extraordinarily exciting about them. They didn't have one of the great backs of all time. They didn't have one of the great quarterbacks of all time. They got a young receiver that might become an all-star, or already has, but he's an all-timer, but he's not there yet. They don't have a coach that anybody knows. But so they won't be remembered other than the fact that they're one of the teams that won it. But it was a physical, tough, hard-nosed team, Hayes. It's still a collision sport. It's still a combat sport. And we were reminded of that this Super Bowl. This wasn't about who threw the most touchdown passes or who passed for the most yards or who ran the prettiest reverses. This was the most physical team, won a physical game in a physical sport, and that's how I'll remember it.
Absolutely. Seattle running back Kenneth Walker gets MVP accolades, carried 27 times for 135 yards, and also caught 2 passes for 26 yards. Boy, he demonstrated some just phenomenal patience, waiting for those holes to open at times.
The one run where they compared him to Le'Veon Bell, he just stopped. He just literally stopped and waited for the hole and then took off, which is what Le'Veon Bell used to do. I thought the tone was set on that first drive where he had the 30-yard run and then the 29-yard run. Or maybe it was the 29, then the 30.
First play of the game was like a 10-yard run.
Yeah,
I'm like, here we go.
On the sideline,
If they're not stopping the run, it's over.
That's right. And he set the tone. So he's a good player. I mean, remember now, nobody knew him as well. He only played at 1 year. He played at Wake Forest for 2 years before he got to Michigan State. And he played in that funky offense that Wake Forest has, where they kind of hand it off. Yeah, they kind of hand it off, and they don't really hand it off, and then they do hand it off.
That's why he's so patient.
Yeah, it probably is. But he's a terrific player.
Let's get it to the Patriots side of things. They look dreadful offensively. 3 turnovers, including 1 return for a touchdown, and 6 sacks allowed. Where do you think this takes New England from here?
Well, I think Drake May's going to be a good player. He's a young quarterback, and it's hard, man. Quarterback's hard. Quarterback in the NFL is freaking hard. And he didn't play very well. He got rattled. He missed a lot of throws. He will later in his career will make. When he becomes when he has his talent, when he has his level of talent, but then has those years did you see in Jacoby Brissett and Joe Flacco and these veteran guys that have played a lot, when he has that plus this level of talent, he's going to be a very good player. But they got to regroup a little bit. I mean, they're going to have a first place schedule next year. It's going to be a different world for them. But they've got a good team. Mike Vrabel's a terrific coach. I think the Patriots will be back in the mix. I do.
Let's get to around the NFL. The Cowboys will reportedly franchise tag receiver George Pickens. Right move?
Yeah, I guess, because I think the Cowboys are a broken franchise. I think their best players are gone. Micah Parsons among them. I think Dak Prescott's just okay. I think, Pickens is a special talent. He's also a bit of an airhead. So I think if you can, if the good Pickens shows up, it makes a lot of sense. But again, their good players are gone. So if you have a potentially great player, which is what he is, keep him if you can.
Unbelievably awful news for the Atlanta Falcons. Edge rusher James Pierce facing serious charges and could face several years in prison after allegedly ramming his vehicle into his ex-girlfriend's car and then striking a police officer in the knee while evading. Pierce finished 3rd in Defensive Rookie of the Year honors this past week after a 10.5 sack season. Atlanta has been desperately trying to find edge rushers. It looks like they hit is a player with James Pierce, but his career is probably over.
Hayes, ran from the police. If you run from the police, you're a fugitive, man. That was, and listen, there were red flags the whole time during his college career. During the pre-draft process, there were red flags all over the place. And now you kind of see why. I can't imagine him playing again. The professional sports and sports in general are a very forgiving bunch. But I can't imagine James Pierce. He ran from the police. I can't imagine.
Yeah, it'd be hard to see him evading any sort of time with this case, but we'll see how it plays out. Staying in Atlanta, the Falcons expected to cut quarterback Kirk Cousins. Do you think he'll have a market?
I do. I think he'll, at worst, he'll have a market as a backup, as a veteran backup. They all have those. But no, I think there's something left with Kirk Cousins. I think you could do a lot worse than him as your starter. I mean, right now, if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers are trying to bring back Aaron Rodgers, is 44-year-old Aaron Rodgers going to be better than whatever Kirk Cousins is? I don't think so. So I think one of those teams that's either in between. No, I think there is a market for Kirk Cousins.
He smells like a Cleveland Brown to me.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah,
just
that's the team
another one
that
of their countless veterans.
But I think he's better than some of these veterans that are getting signed. I think
the injury hurt him a lot.
No question.
He looked he just didn't look anything close to what he was last year.
I agree with that. I agree. But I think he'll land somewhere. Your real question is not will he land, but does he have a chance to win a job? I think he does. In the right place, I think he does.
The Bears are promoting Press Taylor to offensive coordinator so you can cross Chicago off your list of contenders next season.
I knew that was coming. Right when I saw that a couple of days ago, I said, at some point, Hayes will get to that. I don't know when he's going to get to it.
And it was Monday.
Yeah, but at some point, Hayes is going to get to that.
Luckily, he's not calling plays or
Press
anything.
Taylor, yes. Hopefully, Ben Johnson does not delegate that to Press Taylor. Let's get to college basketball. The Gators throttle Texas A&M 86-67 in College Station in a battle for sole possession of first place in the SEC. Thomas Houck led UF with 22 points, including 21 in the second half. Ruben Chinlilu notched his 14th double-double of the season with 10 points and 15 rebounds.
They're one of the 5 or 6 best teams in the country right now. There's 5, 6, 7 teams that nobody wants to run into, and they're one of those. And because the league is not as good as it was last year, Hayes, they're going to be tough. Nobody wants to see those guys. I mean, Alabama and A&M are both Sweet 16 teams. They're both very good teams, and Florida just beat the dog out of both of them in the last 2 games. So they're a tough out now, boy. They're playing at they're really good, playing at a really good level.
Absolutely. Florida now 17-6 overall and 8-2 in SEC play. The Gators are 9th in the net rankings and 7th in KenPom, so strengthening their case to open NCAA play in Tampa as a 2 or a 3 seed.
Yeah, they're 8-2 in the league now, and they've got 8 games left. I mean, at worst, they're 14-4, I would think. I can't imagine them going any worse than 6-2 the rest of the way. Now, they play Kentucky twice. Kentucky's won 7 out of 8, and they play at Georgia Wednesday night, and Georgia beat them there last year. But I can't imagine worse than 14-4. I'd be shocked if they're not in Tampa in that pod.
Let's stay in SEC basketball territory. Oklahoma stuns Vandy in Nashville, 92-91. The Sooners had lost 9 straight games.
Yeah, but again, the league isn't great this year. And you have a lot of teams, A&M and Vandy among them, Hayes, that are not accustomed to being there. So when you have that target on your back every night and you're not used to having that, you can fade a little bit. And that's the one thing that you're seeing with A&M, with Vanderbilt, with teams that are good that haven't been good. And that's what happened, I think, on Saturday night.
You mentioned that hot Kentucky team. The Wildcats rally past Tennessee in Rupp, 74-71.
Yeah, Kentucky's the problem. Kentucky, they're playing better of late. Tennessee faded. Tennessee faded a little bit. But again, Rick Barnes has another, because they're so portal-centric, he has a whole different team every year. And so he's got some good players. Nate Evans, a really good player, but they're a different team every year. So keep an eye on Kentucky now. Kentucky, it's commonly accepted now that Florida's the best team in the league. Kentucky might be by the time it's over, they might be the second best.
Yeah, I would say so. It was a great weekend for college basketball. North Carolina drills a buzzer beater to fend off Duke, 71-68.
Yeah, and a great win for them. Can North Carolina storm the court? North Carolina, that's Alabama storming the field.
Can't do it.
North Carolina can't storm. No,
Michael Jordan played there.
Correct. You can't ever. Yeah. You can't. Alabama football and North Carolina basketball can never storm the court of the
totally
field
agree.
On any circumstance.
Totally agree. How about our boy Rick Pitino? We haven't talked much about Pitino this year. He was obviously the darling of last season's college basketball slate. St. John's takes down UConn 81-72 at Madison Square Garden, snapping the Huskies' 18-game win streak. Pitino tied Roy Williams for third on the all-time wins list with 903.
I love Pitino, just like you do. That's one thing we agree on. I love Pitino. Who doesn't love Pitino? Good for Pitino. And by the way, I'm glad he didn't keep Walter Clayton Jr.
Yes.
Okay, the Gators would have one less title if they had, but I'm a big Pitino fan.
Let's look locally in the world of college basketball. JU allows 52 second-half points in an 87-73 loss at West Georgia. The Dolphins are now 4-8 in ASUN play.
Yeah, and West Georgia's the struggling team. That one hurt. I think JU beat them by 30 the first time they played, and then lost on the road. So the Dolphins are struggling right now. There's no question.
Yeah, and same for UNF. UNF loses at Queens 91-72, getting outscored 40-22 in the second half. UNF joins JU at 4-8, so they're in a 4-way tie for 8th place with just 6 games left in the regular season.
And it's a tough year to be there because the ASUN tournament is in Jacksonville. Listen, I root for those guys. I root for both of them. I do. But that's a tough draw, and I'm glad the tournament's here because we're the best city in the ASUN, obviously. But that tournament's a tough draw now. And the thing that makes it even a tougher draw are the 2 local teams that do have followings are struggling.
Yeah, no doubt. Let's get to the PGA Tour. The Waste Management Phoenix Open is completed. Chris Gotterup wins again on tour this season, besting Hideki Matsuyama in a playoff. Gotterup had won the Sony earlier. He's already earned $3.5 million to top the money list by $1.5 million. It is not even mid-February yet. Chris Gotterup having a wonderful start to the season.
Yeah, he really is. And Matsuyama, that was his tournament to lose. He probably was the best player in the tournament for 3.5 rounds. But if you watched a little bit of it, you could kind of see the fade coming, couldn't you? He was scrambling down the stretch. So he fades, and Goddard's playing great. We talked about him with Lee Smith.
And two very weird incidents at the end with Matsuyama, where like a fan said something on one hole, and then a security guard accidentally dropped a chair. The hole right after. What are the odds of that?
It was tough for Hideki, and he was a good sport about it. But yeah, that's wonderful win for Chris Goddard, who barely held off Scotty Scheffler, who the world number 1 charges, but falls one shot out of the playoff. He was tied for 102nd after Thursday's first round. He had a 73 on day 1 and then was brilliant for the final 3. Almost won the event.
Yeah, he kind of, you could, if you were watching yesterday, when he got to about 10 or 11, he made the long putt on, was it 12 or the 30-footer? Here he comes. You just didn't know if there were enough holes. If there are enough holes left, he was going to win the tournament because you saw him coming.
Yeah, you're right. If there was 18 holes today, he's probably winning the Phoenix Open. Let's get it to the Olympics. Lindsey Vonn makes a valiant effort but breaks her leg in a brutal crash in her first race. Vonn was racing on a torn ACL. She clipped a flag with her stick and lost her balance. Just terrible ending for Lindsey Vonn's great Olympic career.
I hope she's okay.
She is. She's had surgery.
She's had surgery, and they say stable condition, but they're not saying anything else. They said she's had surgery and she's in stable condition. Her dad came out, who was also a ski racer, and said, "Listen, she's done. If it's up to me, she's done." And I hope she is. That broke my heart a little bit. Again, what gut she has, but I hope she's okay. I mean, again, they said she's had surgery and she's in stable condition. I'll feel better when we have the next update.
Yeah, good point. Let's get you out on our musical note of the day, because we have a big date in rock and roll history today. On this date, back in 1964, the Beatles debut on the Ed Sullivan Show. Beatlemania was officially launched as 73 million people watched 62 years ago today. This is I Want to Hold Your Hand.
You know what? Woodstock, a few other moments, notwithstanding, this might have been the greatest moment in rock and roll history. You know that? When the Beatles were on the Ed Sullivan Show, might have been the greatest moment in rock and roll history. Rock and roll changed forever that night. Great job as always.
Thanks.
Hour 2's next. It's 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
What's this one do?
Ultra booster.
Uh-huh. And what's that mean? What's the difference? We'll take it.
No, you can't take that. That's one of a kind. That's a
1010XL.
For nearly 60 years, Green Acres Sporting Goods at the corner of Normandy and Hammond Boulevard has been Jacksonville's trusted name for the outdoors. From archery to hunting and fishing and more, their expert staff helps you get it right the first time. Right now, stop in and try the newest bows by Hoyt and Matthews and get dialed in before spring. Gear up today at greenacresporting.com.
Quick question. Is your plumbing company run by plumbers or by people who've never held a wrench? At Holland Sons Plumbing, the owners are plumbers themselves. We're family-owned, veteran-operated, and built by people who understand the work. No corporate nonsense, no boardrooms, no suits. Right now, we're hiring service plumbers and residential new construction plumbers here in Jacksonville. If you want steady work, a team that's got your back, and owners who know the job because they've done it, give Holland Sons a look. Holland Sons Plumbing. Local, family, real.
Graceful like a heel.
You have two women?
Strong-minded like a helmet.
Good.
Tom McManus straps on the helmet and joins Lauren Brooks and Taylor Dahl.
Helmets and heels.
Afternoons 2 to 4. Served by Green Law Group on 1010XL.
Covering the First Coast and ready to help when you need it. That's Rebound Rehabilitation. With a dozen locations, they're easy to get to and they'll get you back in the game. Sports injury, workers' comp case, or auto accidents, you name it, they can help. Check out reboundrehab.com.
Home of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Gated communities, homeowners association, secure corporate centers. When you need a full-line fence company capable of any size job, you need to think about Duval Fence. They've got the latest and greatest in gate operators and access control systems. Security is huge these days, and you want a gate that operates smoothly, around the clock, every time you hit the button. Count on a company that's been serving Duval and the First Coast for decades. That's Duval Fence. For the latest in gate operators, commercial or residential, check out Duval Fence.
Leadership looks different on every woman, and every story deserves the spotlight. I'm Liz Grebe, the events director from the Jacksonville Business Journal. I would love for you to join us, PNC Bank, and our 2026 Women of Influence honorees for an unforgettable celebration honoring the women shaping our business community, opening doors, and lifting others along the way. Women of Influence, because powerful leadership deserves to be celebrated. Get your tickets now at jbjevents.com.
Today's restaurant of the day, Flame Broiler, the Rice Bowl King. Try their new char wings. Char-broiled, never fried, grilled to perfection. Available as a 3 or 10-piece side combo meal with rice and a drink. Order today at one of 5 Jacksonville Flame Broiler locations.
I'm Frank Frangie, and I just got back from the farm at Okefenokee in Folkestone. Man, was I impressed. You have to see these handcrafted cabins. But act fast. On this 1,000-acre farm, there will only be 250 cabins. Each phase has jumped in value, so come get your lot and lock in your equity. Enjoy living in harmony with nature, going to the grocery store in your own backyard, and connecting with people grounded in food and purpose. Learn more at okefarm.com. That's okefarm.com.
Checkmate. I'm Brendan Cecilia, founder of Checkmate Coatings.
And I'm Chester, company mascot at your service.
There are 2 important steps to installing the perfect garage floor. The 2-stage coating application, sure, but nothing is more important than preparing the floor. Our team uses diamond grinding machines to grind your floors to a smooth, level finish. Only then can we...
Hold on! You grind garage floors with perfectly lovely diamonds?
No, Chester. We grind floors to perfection using the very best ugly diamonds. Too ugly for jewelry, but perfect for the grinding pads we use to prep the surface.
Perfect preparation and application. Now that's a perfect marriage.
Ugly diamonds?
Check. Perfect preparation?
Check. Smooth, gorgeous gleaming floors that really catch your eye? Checkmate!
Transforming your floors, making them great. Checkmate.
Visit checkmatecoatings.com.
This is your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. I'm RJ Saunders for 1010XL. This update brought to you by Peterbrook, your neighborhood chocolatier. The Jacksonville Dolphins fell at the hands of West Georgia on Saturday afternoon. The loss represented the 3rd straight for the Fins. The road trip for JU will continue as they have a test at Stetson on Wednesday. The Hatters and the Dolphins square off in DeLand at 7 p.m. And you can catch that game right here on 1010XL. Right now, 66 degrees at 5 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. 1010
Take.
The 1010 Take is brought to you by Duck Duck Rooter, plumbing, septic, and air conditioning. When you're stuck, call the duckduckduckrooter.com. I'm now convinced, and I've been convinced, but I'm more convinced than before that the Jags will be in the mix starting next year. They're in the mix this year, that they will go very deep. I watched that Seahawks team, and Hayes made a great point during the Duval Rundown and again during the program, that you can see the similarities in how they're being built, they being the Jaguars and the Seahawks. I can see the similarities, what they already have on the field. Physical defenses, physical offensive lines, commitment to the running game. You can find it. You can see it. They look similar. The Jags look like the Seahawks looked last night. The Seahawks are better. They won the tournament. And frankly, they beat the Jags when the 2 teams played, and they did it here in Jacksonville. But I'm telling you, I felt it all along. I love the way this team's being built. Physicality. It's a combat sport. It's a collision sport. The most physical team wins all the time. The most physical team wins. That's why the Seahawks are holding the Lombardi. And quite frankly, that's where I see the Jaguars headed, and I'm more convinced than ever. I felt like I was watching the Jaguars a year or 2 down the road last night, and that's the 10-10 take.
It's a very good one. You know, I've covered the Jags since 2013, and obviously, so seen a lot of incredible physiques in this league, both with the Jaguars and being in visiting locker rooms. The arms that the Seattle Seahawks defensive line collectively have.
Correct.
I've never seen anything like it. I mean, to a man, I don't know who runs Seattle's strength and conditioning. I don't know if maybe it's these players do it on their own. But compliments to Jaron Reed and Byron Murphy and certainly Leonard Williams. I mean, every time they made a play, they'd get up and celebrate. And they have arms that, I'm sorry, you don't see it even at this level. Incredible physicality and strength from that Seattle front. And New England wasn't the only team this season that just had no chance against them.
Yeah, so it's going to be, but it is a game of physicality. I want to say this. When the Jags built their team, the 5 players they went and got that were veteran players, 4 in free agency, and there's more than that, but the 5 that stood out to me, 4 in free agency, Robert Hainsey and Patrick McCary along the offensive front, 2 very physical players. Eric Murray, who's a very physical defensive back. Jordan Lewis, who's a very physical cornerback. That's why he plays in a slot. And then Jacoby Myers, who's a physical receiver. You say receivers can't be physical. Well, sure they can. He's a physical. There's some Justin Blackmon in there. Catches the ball, snatches it out of the air, very physical, hard to get the ball out of his hands. They went and became a more physical, a stronger team with those 5 acquisitions, not counting the draft picks, among veteran players. My guess is that's what they will do again. I love the way they're going to look and feel, physicality. Be the most physical team on the field. I can't tell you how many coaches have said that to their team. Be the most physical team on the field, and you're usually going to win the game. That's what the Seahawks were. That's what I think the Jags are going to be. We'll take a break and talk some Gator hoops after this.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Things you never hear Dan Hicken say.
The most important thing is having fun and trying your best.
Dan Hicken and Jeff Prosser are the drill.
So let's get out there and do everything the opposite of what I've taught you.
Mornings on 1010XL.
Sound like a plan?
Hey gang, Hicken here. Guys, listen up. Valentine's is coming. You want to be a hero this year with something really romantic? It's easier than you think at Beards Diamonds. Beards has put together a stunning selection of timeless, affordable jewelry she'll absolutely love. Dazzling rings, sparkling earrings, elegant pendants and bracelets set with brilliant diamonds or colorful gemstones. Classic gold that never goes out of style. And you can't beat the wow factor of top brand designer jewelry. They got it all at Beards. And here's the best part. Right now, save up to 40% on all diamond stud earrings, pendants, and tennis bracelets. You know, cards, flowers, and candy are sweet, but nothing says I love you forever like a sparkling gift she'll wear and cherish every single day. Plus, Beards is your local Jacksonville jeweler, family-owned and community-strong for more than 45 years right here in the St. John's Town Center, not some Wall Street chain. Hurry in today. Don't wait. Beards Diamonds at the St. John's Town Center. Get up to 40% off diamond earrings, pendants, and tennis bracelets.
When your home or business deserves more than ordinary glass, you trust the experts. Capital Glass and Shower Doors has been elevating spaces for over 40 years with precision, craftsmanship, and clean, modern design. From sleek frameless shower enclosures to elegant glass railings, wine cabinets, and any custom glass that makes a statement, Capital Glass delivers unmatched quality, service, and attention to detail. Your vision, their expertise. Capital Glass and Shower Doors at capcoglass.com.
Get out of the city and into the woods and the water.
I keep on working it.
On the Nimnicht Outdoors Show, Captain Kevin and Captain Kirk join Jeff Lageman.
I am shooting one today.
Get hooked Saturday morning from 7 to 10 on 1010XL.
Do you have clicking, popping, swelling, or pain in your knee or shoulder? This can be due to arthritic changes in your joints. Over time, you have wear and tear of your cartilage. I am Dr. George Bari, and here at Bari Orthopedics, we have numerous ways to treat your arthritis, such as regenerative medicine, including PRP and joint replacements with CT guidance for accuracy down to the millimeter. If you are experiencing any of these symptoms, call us for an appointment today, or log on to BariOrthopedics.com.
Find out more at BariOrthopedics.com. That's BAHRI Orthopedics.com.
When you're faced with damage in your home from water, fire, or mold, you need a team with the expertise to fix it right.
RestoPros!
A locally owned, nationally backed franchise that's here to help you when you need them. A team that does it right the first time.
RestoPros!
Remember, you don't have to use the insurance company's preferred contractors. Get it done right by a licensed professional you can trust. Call 904-201-9151 or go to RestoProsNEFlorida.com. That's RestoProsNEFlorida.com.
RestoPros!
At Hollis Pools, building a pool is personal. We sit down with you, listen to your vision, and bring your backyard dreams to life right here in Northeast Florida. Working with us doesn't feel like working with a contractor. It feels like working with family. Every Hollis Pools project supports Project Save Your Outdoors, helping bring hope to our veterans. Visit hollispools.com. Hollis Pools, your vision, your pool, your escape. License number CPC 1461233.
Hi, it's Frank Frangie. You hear my buddies Dan and Jeff talk about that great food at Daly's Dash all the time. Jeff loves that Duval, and Dan loves the Boss. And they're right, both are terrific. But I can tell you they have so many excellent options at Daly's Dash. Salads and flatbreads and tacos and quesadillas, you name it. And of course, those fantastic subs and sandwiches. I just had the Italian sub. It is so good. The thing is, Daly's Dash is really committed to their food and committed to making it perfect for you. Everything is fresh, made to order every time. And there's so many Daly's locations in town, no matter where you are, there's one near you. I love to pop in and grab a sub at lunch, or maybe after a round of golf, or maybe even after calling one of those Jags games. There's never a bad time to stop into Daly's Dash and grab that great food. So head there today. Take it from Dan and Jeff, or take it from me. They say it's nicer here. It really is. And the food is delicious. Head to Daly's Dash today.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
It's a Best Bet Monday on The Frangie Show with fantastic locations in Jacksonville, Orange Park, and St. Augustine. It's Best Bet.
Hey, you want to hear a great deal? How about this Valentine's Day special? This Saturday, obviously that's Valentine's Day, at all three Best Bet locations, a Royal Flush in Hearts wins $5,000 all day from 10 in the morning to midnight. A Royal Flush in Hearts, $5,000. That's at Best Bet Jacksonville on Monument Road. Best Bet St. Augustine, just off of 95. And, of course, Best Bet Orange Park on US 17. Boy, the Best Bet, a great place to have fun. I can promise you that. Head to the Best Bet if you get a chance and have a lot of fun. The Gator basketball team had some fun in College Station, Texas. It was a game for first place. Both teams were 7-2 in the league. Both teams are having very good seasons coming into the game. Both teams trying to win the overall SEC title. It was supposed to be a war. It was supposed to be a battle. You could tell watching on TV, that place was rocking, man. And Florida just did what they've been doing, and they gutted yet another team. They're physical, they're long, they're athletic. And I'll tell you 2 or 3 things came out of that game for me, Hayes. Number one, it's obvious that front court's going to dominate anybody. Even there's nobody in the country that's going to outplay that front court. They're big and strong and long, and that's how they're going to play. They are so well coached. So A&M, Bucky McMillan, who's a good coach, by the way, Bucky ball as they call it, they pressed the whole game. You told us about that on Friday as we get set to watch that game, about how much they were going to press. Well, Florida had a great plan. Boogie Flan and Xavier Lee can't shoot at all. They're terrible shooters. But, man, they're fast. They're wide receivers. And his plan was, okay, Bucky ball, if you are going to press us, when we get it in, we're sending our super fast wide receivers on go routes. And that's what they did. They ran go routes the entire game. How many layups and dunks did they get at the end of those fast breaks? Because they outran A&M down floor. If you're going to press, you're going to be susceptible to the fast break. I mean, Florida was prepared and they had the skill to do it. I think that stood out in my mind. They are. Boogie Flan, if he doesn't make it in the NBA, could be a wide receiver. I mean, he's. I mean, I'm kidding. I don't know if he's tough enough to play football. You get the point. Xavier Lee, for all the things he's not, he's fast. Those two guys they're faster than last year's guards. Now, last year's guards were great players and they won championships. These guys look like football players, and so they raced down court. So I thought that was part of it. So, and the other thing, 2 other things stood out about that game. Florida has been there. They won the national championship, which meant they were in a bunch of good big games last year. So the returning players have all been in those 4 big guys have all been in those games before. The guards weren't at Florida, but Xavier Lee's been in enough of them this year. They played Arizona, they played UConn, they played Duke, they played these good teams. A&M, and this isn't their fault. They played a very weak schedule. They were tight. They were AG, their big guy, who's been at, I think, 5 schools. Is it 5 schools? 4 or 5 schools?
I think it's 5. He's 26.
Yeah, he's 5 schools. He's been in some big games. He wasn't rattled. The rest of them, did you sense that too?
Yeah, they couldn't. They couldn't buy a bucket.
Yeah, even when they were open, they were nervous. The game was big for them, and that'll make them better, by the way, because they have a good team. So they're going to be in the tournament. They're going to be in some big games. That will make them better in some big games. But the moment was too, and we've seen that. I've seen it from teams I root for. The moment was too big for them. Florida was used to that moment. Florida's big and dominating, and Florida's guards are like wide receivers. They don't shoot it very well, but man, they get up and down the floor. They were coached to do that. Golden had a great plan, and that's why they buried A&M.
Yeah, I also thought in terms of defeating the press, because that was the biggest concern going in. The other thing that Golden and his staff did that I thought was really smart is they had a significant size advantage on the Aggies. So if it ever got a little tight on the 5-second, they would just lob it up.
Throw it up to a big guy.
Yeah, and the big would secure it, high point it, bring it down, and usually then get a quick pass off to Fland or Lee, and then they were off and running.
Yeah.
So there were times where they beat the press in an unconventional way because the thing about Florida's bigs that's so remarkable and it doesn't get talked about enough is their coordination.
Great hands.
I mean, great hands and unbelievable hand-to-eye coordination when it comes to handling the basketball and distributing it, and just very smart players. So what it ended up leading to is if you're going to press a team like A&M, and A&M presses off of misses. I mean, they press more than probably any team, certainly in the SEC and probably in the country. So you need to dominate points off of turnovers, and you want to dominate fast break points. Well, Florida killed them in both. Florida points off of turnovers 14-3, and in fast break points, Florida 21-7. So Florida totally dismantled their press, and was great in other elements of the game as well. I thought Brown off the bench, 12 points, really helped establish a physical presence early on in the game. Again, as your 8th guy, you're just sort of looking for any kind of contribution, out of him. And, for him to have not just the 12 points, but I thought the rebounding, the tough defense, anytime he gives Florida that kind of a contribution, we've talked about it. It's going to mask some of the other deficiencies. But I agree with you. Boogie Fland, he doesn't shoot it well, but he does everything else well. He was plus 28 in this game. So when Boogie Fland was on the floor, Florida won this game by 28 points. Fland played almost 32 minutes. So, yeah, he can't shoot. He was 0 for 4 shooting the 3. I don't think he's made one this calendar year. But he does everything else at a very high level. The other thing that Florida did in this game that really impressed me, foul trouble could have become a real albatross for them in this one. A&M plays like 11 guys. Florida only plays 8. Condon gets 3 fouls very early in this game. Chinlilu had 2. Hauk had 2. They weathered the foul trouble.
Handlogden had 2.
Handlogden had 2. They weathered that very well in the second half. It looked like at about the 7-minute mark of the first half that Florida might be in trouble, because if they have to go to a 5th big, there's a gigantic drop-off. So they've really got to make sure that they've got, those 4 guys. They can lose 1, but you start losing 2 to foul trouble and having guys really not be able to play a lot of minutes. So Florida showed, I thought, a lot of poise and savvy and fending off that early threat of foul trouble against a team that plays significantly more guys. But I mean, it was incredible. I mean, for that environment, for Florida to handle it the way that they did, they led for 39 minutes and 3 seconds of this game, and like we mentioned earlier, led by double digits for the final 26 minutes. I mean, that's a route. You just don't see that. I mean, that's the entire second half, and the final 6 minutes of the first half was a double-digit lead at a minimum the entire time, just an absolute dominant performance. And I love that Todd Golden's becoming where he'll get up to the podium and be like, yeah, it really wasn't a game.
That's what he said.
He is doing a good job. They're creating a mystique, and I agree with you. I thought Florida's logo beat Texas A&M before the ball was tipped. Now, obviously, we didn't know that until we saw A&M have just a dreadful first half shooting it. But Golden's him taking, and I wouldn't even say, I mean, it's a fact, but having that kind of Spurrier element to him,
he's got a swagger.
It adds to that mystique of teams are like, we're not sure we can beat these guys.
Nate Oates said after the Alabama loss, everybody's afraid of Florida's front court, and they should be. And so there's a fear. I've said this all the time in football, and I had this conversation with Greg McElroy when we were at SEC Media Days. I said, Greg, how many times when you were at Alabama was the game won before the game ever started? He said, most of the time. He said, we could see it in their eyes, Frank. He said, we could see it. You'd play a team that was, they saw the Alabama uniforms. They saw those numbers on the helmet. They saw the crimson jerseys or the white jerseys.
There's Nick Saban.
Yeah, they're, and you're beat.
Yeah.
And I think you are seeing some of that with Florida. So here's my concern. Obviously, the shooting is a concern. Everyone knows that, but it's bigger than that. You know what I want now? It's going to sound crazy. You know what we need? Some close games. Because here's the thing. The one question I don't have that I don't know the answer to is there's somebody that can make a big shot at the end of a big game. Guards are usually the guys that do that.
Yeah. Savion Lee did it at Vandy, and we haven't seen him since.
Correct. Great point. Florida won, a really good point. And Boogie Flan made one at Duke, but then Duke came back and made one of their own. Florida won the national championship last year because they had a guy make the big shots all the rest of the year, and the whole tournament, which was obviously Walter Clayton Jr. Can you make a big shot when you have to? When you bury people every game, you're not in that close one. Now they end the season at Rupp Arena. I don't think they're winning at Kentucky by 28 points.
Right.
Okay. So, but I think some moments where you have to make big shots. When you look at championships, teams that went Clayton last year, I don't care if you go all the way back to Keith Smart at Indiana or Jordan or whoever. When there's a big shot to win a game, Romeo Robinson is usually a guard because a guard's got the ball in his hand. So will Florida be able? And I'm thinking, look, they're going to be a top 2 or 3 seed, I think. So it'll be a while before they have to have that game, I think. But last year they had to make big shots to win games. And I don't mean the game winner is the buzzers going off. I just mean a big shots late in games, and that's usually guards. Houck can make them. Thomas Houck will make a big shot late. I don't know that there's anybody else that I know can do it. Now, again, I'm nitpicking. They're hot as any team in the country right now. They play, but this will be a fun week. They play at Georgia. Georgia's fading a little bit. They're not as good as they looked like they were early on. But Georgia beat them in Athens last year. That was the last game they lost last year. Then they play 2 games against Kentucky, starting with the home game on Saturday. I think Florida's going to win both of these next 2 games. Okay, I think they're going to beat Georgia at Georgia. I think they're going to beat Kentucky in Gainesville. But we'll learn more about them. Kentucky's the team that could be a problem. They're probably the second best team in the league. We talked about that earlier. They've won 7 of the last 8. They're playing at a pretty good level. And Kentucky's another team, because of the logo, that when they get a little confidence, the swagger means more. You know, Vanderbilt had a great season to start the season. And and Florida had to go up there and play. And it was a really good game. Vanderbilt's good, Florida's good. But there was no logo involved. Vanderbilt just has a damn good team, and they've got a good coach now. Kentucky, the logo does get involved. No matter what you say, Kentucky basketball is Alabama football. And so, but that's my concern, Hayes, is can somebody make a big shot in a close game? Because when you get in the NCAA tournament, there's going to be those close games.
Yeah, it's really interesting when you look at Florida's remaining road in terms of close games, because they don't play a team that's ranked inside of the top 27 in the net the rest of the way. Kentucky's 28th in the net. Florida plays them twice. Georgia's 35th. Texas is 36th. Arkansas is 26th. So they don't play a team in the top 25 of the current net rankings, which is a surprise considering they still have 4 more weeks. They still have 8 more games to play. So now the good thing about that is starting Wednesday, Georgia needs this one. They're 5-5 in league play.
Right.
They're fading towards the bubble. But if Georgia beats Florida at home Wednesday night, that's a massive quad 1 win for them, and it probably moves them from kind of getting a little towards the bubble to safely in the field. Florida goes to Texas in about 3 weeks. Texas is 36th in the net, but they're I mean, they're the bubble team right now. I mean, they're in, like, if you look at projections, they're either barely out or in the play-in game. That's going to be an absolute war. Florida is going to be facing a team that will be playing for their lives in that game. Obviously, Arkansas and Gainesville, we mentioned the Kentucky games. Those aren't so much to get into the field as much as they are to contend to stay in the race for the SEC title. So I think at least Florida will have that intensity at Georgia, at Texas. I think it helps when you play the bubble teams, and that's before you get to the SEC tournament. Florida may, particularly in the Friday game, be facing a team that needs it to make the field. So in looking at it, I think they'll get those tests, at least from an intensity standpoint. Hard to say, though, how many of these games will really come down to the final possession. But it's a good point, because you do want to have some of that before you get, I would agree with you, probably into the Sweet 16 before they're going to be really tested. But, we'll see. Last year in the second round, they had an 8-seeded UConn they had to go through, and UConn really controlled the game, and Florida made a couple plays late. Elijah Martin, offensive rebound off a missed free throw to get that win. So it's going to be fun. But they are killing teams right now.
The interesting thing is, we go to break. The interesting thing, I think, is I don't sense that this year's 7 and 8 seeds will be like last year.
I agree.
I mean, if you're an 8 seed,
because the sport is so top heavy.
Yeah, if you're an 8 seed, you're one of the best 32 teams, and you might have been pretty good. It's way top heavy. It's way more top heavy this year. So we'll see. We'll take a break. More in a moment. Stay with us.
The Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Find Florida Gators basketball on 1010XL.
The SEC's top team heads to Athens for a Tuesday night treat. Florida, Georgia. Tomorrow at 7 on 92.5 FM.
Frank Frangie here. Nimnick Chevrolet is proud to be an 8-time Chevrolet Dealer of the Year recipient. The only dealership in Northeast Florida to ever win this prestigious award. Earned by treating customers with courtesy, respect, and fairness. All part of Nimnick's Treating You Right guarantee. Visit NimnickChevy.com to learn more. For 3 generations, Nimnick has been the place customers keep coming back to. I've been buying my vehicles there since 1982 because they care about their customers and are invested in our local community, including supporting walk-off charities and all we're trying to do to give underprivileged kids a chance to play baseball. Treating you right, giving the most back to the community, more choices and better prices for you. So who has put the most years and stands behind a better experience? Nobody but Nimnick. Visit the showroom off Cassett Avenue or shop 24/7 at NimnickChevy.com. Remember again, who does it best? Nobody but Nimnick. Chevrolet, together let's drive.
All right, folks, our private equity fund just bought another one in Jacksonville.
Love it. Let's make sure the website says locally trusted.
Should we change the number to a Florida area code?
Nah, just pretend we're local.
Meanwhile, Holland Sons Plumbing didn't need a rebrand to stay local. We're family-owned, veteran-operated, and proud to call Jacksonville home. So if you want a plumber who actually lives in your neighborhood, not in a boardroom, call Holland Sons Plumbing. Holland Sons Plumbing. Locally owned, nationally unbothered.
David Lane here, and once again, I'm happy to share news of my success with back and knee surgeries at Southeast Orthopedic Specialist. Whatever it is that's bothering you, take it from me. Simply set an appointment today at Southeast Orthopedic Specialist and let them help you get back to normal life. I'm certainly glad I did.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Jimerson Burr is a full-service, Florida-based commercial law firm that has experience and capabilities to handle any legal issue a business is confronted with. Learn more about what they can do for you at jimersonfirm.com.
Lauren Brooks here for Terminix. When pests invade your home or business, you don't just need them out, you need them out fast. And you need to keep them out. At Terminix, they'll show up for you and eliminate pests quicker, just like they did at my house, because they care about what matters most to you. When pests show up, so does Terminix. Don't live with a pest problem, Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule a free inspection online. That's TERMINIX.com. That's right, Terminix it.
Here's hoping for a raise the roof football season. And here's knowing
Next Gen Roofing is up for any job. Game day or storm season, you need a team you can trust. And you know what? You don't need a glitzy roofing company. No shortcuts, no gimmicks, no nonsense. Solid roofs at competitive prices and a commitment to the First Coast community. Right now, save up to $300 on your next roof replacement. When you need a roof, you need Next Gen Roofing. Team with you, it's a win every time.
Frangie here, and Big Chief Tire makes it easier than ever to get the tires you need with the Big Chief credit card. No annual fee, low monthly payments, and great promotional financing. Plus, you get free flat repairs and rotations, and right now, $50 off your first purchase when you sign up. I love how simple they make everything. Visit WeKeepJacksRollin.com to apply for the credit card and get the tires you need today. That's Big Chief Tire.
This is the home of the Florida Gators. Get your Gators hoops on 1010XL. Brought to you by the personal injury attorneys of Farah and Farah, Randy Marion Cadillac of Jacksonville, and Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors. 1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's team time, Farah doesn't flinch. Now, the Monahan's golden moment. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach, your local family jewelers.
All right, the moment today is when we talked about the Super Bowl and why it happened the way it did. Seattle wins at 29-13, pretty much the game most of us expected. A 2-touchdown win by the Seahawks. They are the world champions, and they have earned that. They win it because they're physical, they're tough, and that's why they're the Super Bowl champs, and that's why they're going to be a tough out even as we get to next year. So that was the golden moment talking Super Bowl. All right. Did you watch any commercials?
Yeah.
What
were your favorites?
I did like the Budweiser with the eagle.
Yeah, that was great.
Because you dropped Skinner. You dropped Skinner, and okay, that
was great at the end. Are you crying?
Yeah.
Sun's in my eyes.
I thought that was the best one. I did like the Dunkin' Donuts with Ben Affleck and those guys. I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
The very first one I thought was okay with Keegan-Michael Key and all doing the Bon Jovi song.
Oh, yeah, Danny McBride.
Yeah, right. I thought it was great. What made it really good is Bon Jovi at the end.
Yeah.
So I thought that one.
And Haley Steinfeld.
He was everywhere yesterday.
What's that?
And Haley Steinfeld helped.
Yeah, you better believe. So I thought he was everywhere, right? But I thought so for me, the Dunkin' Donuts, the Bon Jovi, the Budweiser, the Bud Light with Peyton was okay. Those are the fun. I
was hoping that would be better.
Yeah, me too.
I was like, if you're gonna get Shane Gillison, it's got to be funny.
Yeah,
and it did not make me laugh.
It wasn't that funny. So
what about I thought the most genius one was the dumbest one, which was earlier in the game. They had like a Backstreet Boys commercial.
Yeah,
and then later they started singing the song again, and they were showing like the karaoke lyrics pop up for like 30 seconds, and you're like, are they just going to show the lyrics of this song? And then the last lyric was just Coinbase.
Yeah,
it was. I was just like, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it didn't take any money to make that, and it's like the only one I remember.
Yeah, and I like that one.
Genius in its simplicity.
Yeah, and the back. I felt bad. The one Backstreet Boy that lost the voice. The one guy lost his voice.
Like really?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, the Brian guy, the guy but they still let him sing. He sings the first whatever the hit song. He sings the first line of it.
Okay.
So what did you think? Which one did you like?
Yeah, I definitely the Budweiser one was my favorite because the poor little baby eagle who's getting in the rain and the horse comes out and helps him, and then at the end, obviously,
and you had Skinner for God's sake.
It was like, let's do the most American.
I love
it.
Right. I thought that was really cool. And I will say I agree with you guys. There was nothing else that you guys I think hit them all. But I will say this isn't a Super Bowl commercial, but I am very concerned about something that has to do with commercials. So I love the Progressive Becoming Your Parents ad campaign that's been going on for a couple years now.
Best.
And I'm worried that it's coming to an end because in their latest one, I don't know if you guys have seen this, there's one where it's the coach and then it's two of the reoccurring characters and they're watching this a couple of construction workers in their neighborhood in a manhole. Have you guys seen this?
No.
Not that one.
So at the end of it, it's
Last
hilarious.
one I've seen is the valet one.
The valet, that was which is great.
By the way,
so this one's
after you told me about it,
I
I thought it was fantastic.
Isn't it great?
Yes.
So in this one, I'm concerned, and now with this, so you guys haven't seen it. Well, you guys will see it. When you see it, tell me, and then we'll talk about it.
Okay.
Because the way it ends,
Like this is the end?
Yeah, it leads me to believe that this might be the last
that
one
would be
they're doing.
That'd be awful.
And I don't
That
like
would be
that.
it.
So, because
that
this
guy's
one's hilarious
fantastic.
too. I don't want them going out on top.
Such a great ad campaign.
It's
it really is
phenomenal.
I mean,
so,
true story. A year or two ago, I had not seen it till you pointed it out. And then, like that night, I saw it. It was the greatest campaign. Because the guy's fantastic.
Absolutely,
he's fantastic. I mean, he is absolutely fantastic. Did you enjoy Bad Bunny?
I honestly didn't really watch it. We were I just didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't see much of it. So it was on, and but I didn't really get it.
Yeah.
It looked fine from what I saw,
Yeah.
but I didn't really lock in for like 20 minutes.
How about you?
Yeah, I liked it, but I didn't grow up. I live in a pro Bad Bunny house.
Okay.
We listen to lots of Bad Bunny in my
so
house. My wife speaks Spanish. She's Colombian. She loves Bad
Oh,
Bunny.
so you're familiar.
I knew all the songs. Yeah,
Okay.
but could I tell you what he's talking about? No.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, I enjoy Bad Bunny. What I don't enjoy is the 45 minutes that is the halftime, man. Like,
Yeah, I
even
know.
if we're gonna do a show, let's just do the show. They literally did 2 segments from the desk before the show
I know.
even started, and then after Bad Bunny did another segment at the desk.
It's a long halftime.
Way too long.
Felt like a college halftime. I don't know Bad Bunny music, and so, but I thought, and I know everyone talks about the politics of it all, which I don't really care about either way, but I did sense that if you did like the music and knew the music, that the choreography and the planning.
And he did like 1,000 of his songs.
Yeah,
too.
it was pretty good. Yeah, I mean, I thought they worked hard. Again, if I said, hey, I enjoyed it, I'd be lying. It's not my vibe. I didn't. I just watched it. But I thought the effort that went into it, I thought that they put a lot of effort into it. Certainly did do that. All right, let's take a break. We'll be back to wrap the program after this.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Live streaming from the XL Digital Studios. Brightened by Harbor Dental Care, Jacksonville's first choice for dental emergencies.
This is Brent Musburger's Visa in Action update on 1010XL. Brought to you by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. When you're stuck, call the Duck. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
NFL, the Seahawks with a 29-13 victory over the New England Patriots in Super Bowl 60 at Levi's Stadium. And now it's time to look ahead at the odds of next year's Super Bowl champion, which will be held in Los Angeles at SoFi Stadium. The Seahawks are the betting favorite to repeat as Super Bowl champions at plus 750. The Rams at plus 800. They won the Super Bowl the last time it was at SoFi. The Baltimore Ravens plus 1,200. You can get the Buffalo Bills also at plus 1,200. Green Bay at 1,300. The Los Angeles Chargers and the Philadelphia Eagles are both plus 1,500 to win Super Bowl 61.
Progressive helping veterans drive their lives forward. More info, keysofprogress.com.
I'm Tony Desiri with your Visa in Action update on 1010XL.
Valentine's Day is sweet, but let's be honest, your septic tank wants attention too. Because when it gets ignored, it doesn't sulk, it causes problems, big ones. That's why Duck Duck Rooter, the only master septic contractor in Northeast Florida, is rolling out the Show Your Septic Some Love promotion. Right now, get $50 off septic tank pumping when you book by February 28th. Give your septic a little love now so it doesn't make a big scene later. When you're stuck, call the Duck, 904-862-6769, duckduckrooter.com.
I'm Holt Harrell. I was talking to someone the other day and they were shocked that some lawyers get more from a case than their own client. After paying bills and costs, if we are supposed to get more than a client, we won't. That's the Harrell and Harrell promise. When we say that we treat our clients like family, we mean it. If you've been in an accident, call us today. 251-1111. Harrell and Harrell. Offices, Jacksonville.
Renewal by Andersen is celebrating Free Window February. For a limited time, buy 4 replacement windows or doors and get the 5th free. Plus, enjoy 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for 12 months. Our Acclaim Impact windows are built for Florida, designed to help you save on energy bills while keeping your home comfortable year-round. Offer ends February 28th. Restrictions apply. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free in-home consultation. License number CGC 1527613. Renewal by Andersen, where comfort meets quality.
easily. I used to dread going to the dentist. Every visit felt like a sales pitch with constant upselling, surprise fees on my bill, and I could never get in when I needed to. But Harbor Dental Care? Totally different. They saw me the next day, gave me honest pricing up front, and even set me up with a payment plan I could actually afford. No pressure, no surprise charges, just kind people who get it. If you want to experience dentistry the way it should be, book your appointment today at harbordental.care. That's HARBOUR dental.care.
Finding the perfect romantic gift she'll treasure forever? It's easier than you think at Beard's Diamonds this Valentine's Day. We've curated a stunning selection of timeless, affordable jewelry she'll absolutely love. Dazzling rings, sparkling earrings, elegant pendants and bracelets, set with brilliant diamonds or colorful gemstones. Classic gold that never goes out of style. And you can't beat the wow factor of top brand designer jewelry. At Beard's, we've got it all under one roof. And right now, we're cranking up the romance with an unbeatable limited time offer. Save up to 40% on all diamond stud earrings, pendants, and tennis bracelets. Imagine her face lighting up when she opens that signature Beards box on February 14th. Pure magic that lasts a lifetime. Guys, cards, flowers, and candy are sweet, but nothing says I love you forever like a sparkling gift she'll wear and cherish every single day. And that gift is on major sale right now. Plus, Beards is your local Jacksonville jeweler, family owned and community strong for over 45 years. Right here in the St. John's Town Center. Not some Wall Street chain. We're your neighbors, and we're here for you. Hurry in today. Don't wait. Beards Diamonds, St. John's Town Center.
Hacker here. You know, people think Awaken 180 called me or asked me to go on the program. They didn't. Truth be told, I asked them. Didn't even take a talent fee. I didn't want to check. I wanted my weight gone. I was done with waking up tired and lethargic. I was done. And let's be honest, I wasn't failing diets. Diets were failing me. I didn't need any hype or motivation. I needed instructions. The Awaken 180 program was like finally stopping the backyard play calling and having a coach in your ear saying, run this, now trust it. Once my brain got out of the way, everything changed. No overthinking, no negotiating, no self-sabotage. The weight came off fast every single week. Like clockwork. The biggest surprise wasn't the scale. It was the relief. I felt like I finally stopped fighting myself. That's when Awaken 180 took over. So if you're waiting to feel ready, don't. I wasn't either. That's why this worked. Awaken180weightloss.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
It's a Best Bet Monday on The Frangie Show with fantastic locations in Jacksonville, Orange Park, and St. Augustine. It's Best Bet.
All right, so football's over. But football's not over, is it, JJ?
Absolutely not.
What do you got in there?
I got a family 4-pack of tickets to see Sporting Jack's Women's League game, home game, excuse me. That is the 11th, so it's coming up in a couple days.
Right. Who are they playing?
Spokane Zephyr Football Club.
I hate those guys.
I knew you did. That's why I waited so long in the show to bring them up, because it would bring your...
Club. That is a huge...
It would have ruined the show if I brought them up earlier.
Spokane thinks they invented soccer.
Yeah,
classless.
they do.
Okay,
we've
always known that. Okay, so good one to go to. How many you got? 4 in there?
I do.
What do you want?
641-1010. Give me a call.
All right, 641-1010. You're going to watch a little soccer, and you'll be glad you did. All right, this has been a fun show. We're almost out of time. We'll say hello to Rick Ballou in a minute or two, but it was a good week. I'm always a little sad when football's over. And I mean, I am
like December 26th.
Yeah. Well, that's right. But it's the day after Christmas. You're right. But I'm almost a little. But I am more excited, and I pouted for a couple weeks this year. I mean, I because the abruptness of the ending, But I am excited about where I kind of think they're going. I'm very excited.
We're a month away from the new league year,
Yeah.
so it's really gonna.
It happens fast, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's gonna creep up on us fast, and we're gonna be talking about new Jaguars, which is gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, don't waste your life away. Rick Ballou will scold you.
We're on the opposite sides.
Rick Ballou,
of that.
he will scold.
If it were me, I would be put in a coma today and woken up in 6 months when the next football season starts.
He'll scold
if
you.
that meant I could live to see an extra 27 football seasons.
Let's say hello to my buddy Rick Ballou.
Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnicht. Nimnicht Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnicht Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
You got 30 seconds. Scold him.
No,
scold
I've changed.
him.
You know
Scold
what?
him.
I've changed.
You have not.
I got 17 days without hockey. I got 18 days without the Boston Bruins. I cannot wait for hockey to return. So I've been wrong all these years.
All right.
You guys have been right.
All right. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great.
What'd you think of the Super Bowl? What'd you think?
I don't mind a defensive game, but that just seemed really out of sorts. It almost looked like a preseason game outside of just how dominant they were defensively. I thought New England played really well defensively. They just had trouble, and Collinsworth told us about it, every single time Kenneth Walker got the ball, his delay. He mentioned Le'Veon Bell. You figured you would have mentioned the former Gator, Fred Taylor, who used to express a great deal of patience.
Good point. Very good call.
When he ran. But, what I got out of it was what a missed opportunity for Jacksonville, Buffalo, Denver. Am I allowed to put Houston in there?
Yeah, I get it. I get what you're saying.
The New England Patriots were not the best team in the AFC. And the best team doesn't always win or get there. They had an easy schedule, but they took on some really good teams in the playoffs, teams that were injured, teams that were limited. But that's what I felt myself saying yesterday was Jacksonville would give Seattle, and we saw what happened the first time they put them, but they would have given them a better game.
Yeah, we all said, Rick, I know you did, I know we did, that Buffalo was going to be the hard one. Josh Allen's so experienced, they're used to being there, and if you got by that one, we said it. Hey, if you got by that one, you're going to be in the Super Bowl. I really felt that, and yes, to your point, yesterday didn't change that.
No, it didn't. And tell you what an unbelievable defense Seattle has, and it's different from the great defense that they had that went to back-to-back Super Bowls. The Legion of Boom. They rush forward, and they have maybe the best secondary we've seen in quite some time. So big victory for them.
Tonight?
That's it. We got a ton of reaction, a couple of Jaguar nuggets that I found today and kind of what Jacksonville needs to look at. And really, I got something on the league that may be changing right before our eyes. It may be a tad bit premature, but I'm going to throw it out there anyway.
All right. Rick Buller goes into the night. A lot of NFL talk coming up right now. Folks, that'll do it for our program. We'll see you tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. More football talk and a whole lot more. For Hayes and JJ, I'm Frank Frangie. So long.